Before Kobe Bryant became Shaq's running mate, there was another guard who had everyone believing he'd be the future face of the NBA.
Yes, sir. It is Penny time. Hardaway, hammer time.
Even Shaq himself had no doubts about this player's extraordinary potential.
Can you say Penny could have been a top 3 player of all time? Because that's what Kobe is.
Yes. If he didn't get injured, yes. Penny was cold, and that's why I always tell people he was Kobe before Kobe. If he wouldn't have got injured, he'd definitely be up there. Definitely.
At 6'7", Penny Hardaway was a point guard with the court vision of Magic Johnson and the scoring instincts of Michael Jordan. He was someone who many considered a Hall of Fame caliber player.
If he had stayed healthy, Reg, finish that sentence.
First ballot Hall of Famer, easily.
4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA first team, and the man who led the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals in just his second season, Penny seemed destined for greatness. Every legend knew it. Every defender feared it. But what happened next would turn Penny's journey into one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. Before we get into his full story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching one of the best new basketball channels on YouTube, Swish Archives. In a pivotal moment for the Orlando Magic in 1993, Shaquille O'Neal gave the front office an ultimatum: draft Penny Hardaway or risk losing him.
Hey, man, you know who Penny Hardaway is? Yeah, we might not get him. We want the first pick. We want to go with C-Web. Nah, fuck that. You're going to have to get Penny. Listen to what the fuck I'm telling you right now. My deal is up in 2 years. If you don't give me what I want to help me win this championship, I'm going to have to look elsewhere.
Faced with that pressure, the Magic made a move that would change their future. At first, they selected Michigan's dominant power forward Chris Webber with the first overall pick in the NBA draft. But almost immediately, they pulled off a blockbuster trade, sending Webber to the Golden State Warriors in exchange for the 3rd overall pick, Penny Hardaway, along with future draft picks. Hardaway wasn't just an ordinary prospect. He had once been the #1 ranked high school player in the late 80s. Standing at 6'7", Penny was a versatile guard, years ahead of his time. Comparisons to Magic Johnson followed him everywhere, though Penny didn't shy away from the pressure, even boldly claiming he would surpass Magic's legacy. The hype around him grew so much that ESPN broadcasted one of his high school games, an extremely rare move for that era. The gamble to trade Webber for Penny paid off. By bringing Hardaway to Orlando, the Magic instantly became one of the most electrifying teams in the NBA. Shaq, the dominant force in the paint, and Penny, the floor general with unmatched basketball IQ, formed a dynamic duo that terrorized defenses. It was as if Penny was Shaq's Kobe before Kobe. And for a while, it seemed the two could build a dynasty together in Orlando. Hardaway's talent was on display from the very beginning. He earned a spot on the NBA All-Rookie First Team and was just 6 votes behind Chris Webber in the Rookie of the Year voting. Penny averaged 16 points, 6.1 assists, 5.1 rebounds, and nearly 2 steals per game. A glimpse of what was to come. Here's a surprising fact that might shock some fans. Penny Hardaway actually started his rookie career as a shooting guard. It's not widely known that he spent his early games learning how to run a team from veteran Scott Skiles. By mid-season, he took over point guard duties from Skiles, leading the Magic to their first playoff berth and a 50-win regular season. However, the young Magic team was swept in the first round by a lower-seeded Indiana Pacers, led by Reggie Miller. By his second season, Penny took his game to another level. As the team's starting point guard, he averaged 20.9 points, 7.2 assists, and 4.4 rebounds per game, shooting an efficient 51% from the field. It's worth noting that the late 90s was one of the NBA's lowest scoring eras, so Penny's numbers would likely be even more impressive in today's faster-paced game. His ability to score at will and create opportunities for teammates was special, but it was his unselfishness that truly set him apart. Shaq often praised Penny as the best point guard he ever played with, someone who knew exactly when to get the big man involved and when to take over a game himself. Penny's brilliance earned him a starting spot in his first All-Star game, and he was named to the All-NBA First Team. The Magic finished the season with a 57-25 record, the best in franchise history at that time. In the playoffs, Hardaway's star power shone brightly as he and Shaq led the Magic to their first NBA Finals appearance. They achieved this by beating the Chicago Bulls, who had just seen Michael Jordan return from his first retirement. Though the Magic were swept by Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets, Penny delivered an exceptional performance, averaging 25.5 points, 8 assists, and 4.8 rebounds on 50% shooting. At just 23, Penny put the league on notice. Orlando had something special brewing. Early on, fans compared Penny to Michael Jordan due to their similar height, but as his game evolved, those comparisons shifted to Magic Johnson, another tall, floor-running point guard, something almost unheard of in the 90s. Back then, Penny's ability to run the floor was both remarkable and uncommon. While things looked promising for Orlando, cracks began to form. Shaq suffered an injury at the start of the 1995-96 season, so Penny was forced to take on more of the scoring load. He delivered an impressive 21.7 points, 7.1 assists, and 4.3 rebounds per game, which earned him another All-Star appearance. Despite his efforts, the Magic fell short in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Chicago Bulls, who were on a revenge tour with the second-best all-time 72-10 record. For many, this season marked the peak of Hardaway's career. Yet, behind the scenes, tension was brewing between Shaq and the Magic organization. Shaq felt underappreciated, both financially and in terms of recognition. Shaq recently spoke to Penny and expressed regret on how things were handled, but he made it known the two never had a single argument while playing together.
And then, when I said we never had an argument, so now I'm looking back, why did we break up?
Then came the summer of 1996. Shaq became a free agent, and the Los Angeles Lakers made him an offer he couldn't refuse, both in terms of money and the opportunity to play in a larger market. Despite Orlando's efforts, Shaq was gone, leaving Penny without his superstar partner. He was now the man in Orlando, but the burden was heavy. He continued to perform at an elite level, even leading the Magic to a solid record in the 1996-97 season with averages of 20.5 points and 5.6 assists. But without the dominant presence of Shaq, defenses focused on Penny, and the Magic struggled to maintain their status as title contenders. In the playoffs, the Magic faced the Miami Heat in the first round, falling behind 0-2 in the series. Penny delivered a heroic performance, scoring 42 points in Game 3 and 41 in Game 4 to force a Game 5. He made history as the first player to score 40 or more points in back-to-back playoff games when his team scored under 100 points. Despite adding 33 points in Game 5, the Magic fell short. Penny's playoff scoring average of 31 points finished a close second to Michael Jordan. By the time the 1997 season rolled around, Penny Hardaway had already established himself as one of the league's best players, but that year would mark the beginning of the end. Knee injuries began to take their toll, limiting his appearances to just 59 games. It was clear that the relentless grind of the NBA was wearing him down. The situation got worse the following season when Penny underwent knee surgery, playing only 19 games. His explosiveness, which once defined his game, was fading. Many began to speculate that Penny might have been exaggerating or even faking his injury, prompting him to reveal the true extent of his condition. He later explained that his left knee issues began during the 1996 playoffs against Detroit, following a collision with Joe Dumars that led to a torn meniscus. Despite playing through the pain, his knee never felt right again. Penny made a strong effort to get back in 1998-1999, putting up averages of 15.8 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 5.3 assists over 50 regular season games. However, the Magic were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs against the Philadelphia 76ers. That season marked the end of Penny's time in Orlando, as he was traded to the Phoenix Suns. Teaming up with Jason Kidd in Phoenix, Hardaway showed glimpses of his old self, averaging 16.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 5.3 assists on 47% shooting. For a brief period, it looked like Penny might revive his career. The Suns had one of the best backcourts in the league, and the team made a deep playoff run in 2000. However, their promising run was cut short. In the conference semifinals, Hardaway faced off against his former teammate Shaquille O'Neal and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Suns were defeated by the eventual champions in 5 games. Heading into the 2000-2001 season, Penny sought a fresh start but was sidelined by 2 microfracture surgeries on his left knee, limiting him to just 4 games. While he showed some promise the following season, he was relegated to the bench behind Joe Johnson for the first time in his career. And just when he managed to return to the starting lineup, an unfortunate hand injury forced him to miss 24 games. Penny Hardaway's career didn't have the fairy tale ending it deserved. He never reclaimed his all-star status and became, at best, a role player. After bouncing around the league with stints in Phoenix, New York, and Miami, he retired in 2007. His physical challenges robbed him of his prime. In his best years, Penny was a player unlike any other, an athletic guard who could do everything on the court. He was the perfect complement to Shaq, and together they were supposed to build a dynasty in Orlando. But basketball, like life, doesn't always go according to plan. Injuries, Shaq's departure, and bad luck all conspired to bring an early end to what could have been one of the all-time great careers. When we talk about the great what-ifs in NBA history, Penny Hardaway is always near the top of the list. Despite the disappointments, Penny's legacy in the NBA endures. His influence reaches beyond his playing career, making a significant mark on the league and its players.
I want to tell you, through all the hardship that you've dealt with in your life, through everything you dealt with, just understand how important you are and how important these moments are for people that looked up to you. And I looked up to you because I've seen someone that was amazing at the sport that I wanted to play.
They always talk about the next Michael Jordan, but who is your game pattern after?
I never pattern my game after anybody, but I can receive flashes of magic and some of Penny Hardaway, one of my favorite players.
Penny's fame extended far beyond the basketball court. He became a cultural icon in the 90s, largely due to his partnership with Nike. His Nike Air Penny sneakers were some of the most popular shoes of the era, rivaling even the Air Jordans. But what really set him apart in pop culture was Lil Penny, the hilarious alter ego puppet voiced by comedian Chris Rock in a series of iconic commercials. His charisma, paired with his on-court brilliance, made him one of the most marketable athletes of his time. From magazine covers to endorsements with major brands, Penny was everywhere. So here's the question. If all went as planned, how many championships do you think Shaq and Penny could have achieved? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.